You can analyze, hang out, talk, analyze your games, or you can play against each other if you want. Again, I'll play on 10 minutes so I can have enough time to commentate and hopefully provide quality play. Without further ado, let's go. Okay, I would like to play London, but it's not good against these setups. So we'll play for trying to grab some space. d6, he'll go for e5. Okay. We play bishop c4 because bishop on c4 places much more pressure than the c4 pawn in these structures. That's why you don't see Pirt's defense on the high level being played against e4, because this bishop is annoying and nasty. So we could have gone for the king's Indian with c4, but and now he wants to play knight e4 d5. Okay. His plan is to, if I play bishop d3, I can play bishop d3, but why did I play c4 then? Because if I play knight c3 or rook e1, he'll take on e4 with the knight, and he has d5 fork. The question is, should I allow it or not? No, I won't allow it. I'll play e5. I'll play knight g4, but I have enough development to defend the pawn. I developed enough, or not. Okay. All right. How do we play this? Some sort of a Yahin defense structure. So let us see. We can take here. We can take rook e1. This is some initiative. Or I have a development advantage. I should do something with it before it peters out into nothing. So I'll play knight c3, continuing with the development, and I will accept double pawns because this bishop is hemmed in. If this e5 pawn, he will get counterplay with queen a5, but I hope that after bishop d2, my development advantage will compensate for double pawns. I hope it will compensate. Okay, bishop d3. We'll have c4, so there will be no more double pawns. And now, let's see, take bishop g4 at some point. We need to restrict this bishop, because he might become useful at some point. He still needs to develop his twin side, but I need only one move to finish development. So that's 1, 2 tempos. 2 tempos. Well, I need 1 to develop. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. You'll have to take on d5 because he was threatening to take here. Okay, now this to take here, and he was planning to grab on d4. Now this pawn is protected, and I still have time. Still have in development. It's time to kick the bishop out. And now it trades. I have bishop pair, which is good for the endgame. he retreats, it's a one tempo more for me to finish development. So we need to put some pressure on black. Where to play? Where will we play next? Okay, he retreats the bishop. Okay, he's still one piece behind in development, and this one is passive. So we use this opportunity to first play c4. This one is hemmed in. So I would like to grab some space in the center of the board. Let us see what he plays next. On e6, I will most likely, I do have bishop a3, but it doesn't bring much. On e6, I'll probably play simply, or maybe queen b3. Would be unpleasant, or even better. On e6, yeah, on e6, we'll take twice and play, okay, bishop 5. His rook is hanging, so he plays this. That's a good move on my part. Now, okay. On d5, he has good pressure on my center, and he has a good square for the queen. I have misplayed bishop d5 was mistake. Okay, move on. This one is still weak. We'll have knight, bishop h6, and this diagonal will be good for him. Okay, no need to panic yet. Queen d7. Okay, h4. No time to wait, because he will play out d8 or this to put pressure on the weak pawn. But I'm not. Wait a second. d5. He didn't play queen d5. This was imprecise. He should play queen. Take 4. Play. Not so easy. It's not so easy. Queen d3. 29 c4. 29 b3. And now he will double the rooks. Or at least bring one rook to attack the d4. And since this one is weak, we have to play with this rook at d8, and we will have rook at c8 to contest. Which will give him slight advantage. c4 was so unnecessary. Okay, imprecise move, thank you, Lady Luck, thank you. Rook f8. So now we could use queen e4, for example. So we can push e6 tempo. Then queen b5. Queen b5 looks interesting. Yes. Yes, queen b5 might be. Because this knight stands shaky. Not bad, it's not good. It's shaky. So how will he defend it? He needs queen c8, queen c7, but then I have rook ac8, ac1, and I win a piece. So he needs to exchange on queen b5. Take with the pawn and rook attacks the knight. And knight, there we go. Knight b3. Okay, he wants to exchange, but not like this. No, we don't want to exchange. Not like this. Okay. Let's see. Okay. In the 5 again. He will probably play knight b3, rook a b1. Everything is protected for now. Yes. a5. Nice. But mister, I play queen c4. How do you defend this knight? You don't, do you? You don't have a square. You don't have a square for the knight. Nice. Okay, on to the next. I will not play against him. Just wait so I can abort. We try the French defense. Okay. Thematic break. c5. Okay. Nothing fancy so far. And we'll play a rare line in the advance, but I like it. Bishop d7 with bishop d5, because we exchanged this bad bishop for his good one. And although maybe it's not the best continuation, maybe computers frown upon it, from a human perspective, this is really good continuation. E6, preventing white castling. So now he will have to exchange queens. It's also beneficial for us because we are slightly cramped due to this pawn on e5. b4. Nice. Again. Okay. Bishop f8. And now he'll play b5 to or not. Okay. So you just don't allow anything to. Okay. 97. Was hoping for knight c6 so he can have fork with b5. And I have blundered. Well done. Well done. I lose a rook either way. Okay. Well done. Good blunder. Preventing e5. Okay. Now the London system seems correct. Okay. c3, so he doesn't have any knight before knight c2 fix. Knight d2. So he, on knight h5 I have a retreat square for the bishop. This bishop is really annoying. Take queen b3. Taking this bishop. This pawn, pardon, this pawn. Okay, short castle. I need to catch up in development. Kg5 will stand just fine. Kg5, okay. I cannot stop it. It is what it is. 94. What do you have a threat? No. You're not gonna castle yet. You overprotect this knight. A6, finish development. Now we play c4. If he doesn't play 5, he plays a5. See how that turns out. e5. Yeah, I'll just take everything. Play c4 anyways. Yeah, we play c4. Okay, so this is what you have in mind. So he wants me to drop here and then he can play knight g3, attacking the queen, and he can take the bishop with this knight or the rook. Of course, we're not gonna allow it. Play queen b4. And now if he takes, he cannot put the knight on c4 because it is protected twice. It's square. And okay, what will we do? Takes. He needs to take. Okay, there is a lot of tactical possibilities here. Take on c5. Take with the bishop, take on c5. He needs to take with the queen again. Okay, take with the queen. We'll take the knight. He needs to recapture somehow. Somehow he needs to recapture. get the bishop. Okay, now he needs to capture the queen. After which, let's see, this will be double. Okay, I'm not gonna allow doubling of my pawns, so we play queen d4. Red is d4 with the fork. So now he needs to play some move. On queen d4, we'll probably take with the pawn because this Carlsbad pawn structure should suit me. Because in such structure, the pawns that you don't want to play. On knight e5, he simply plays f6 and he has initiative. So, what does he want to play? What is his plan? Okay, d4. Take the knight. Knight c4, plundering. It's maybe not. Okay. So I take, you take. My rook hangs. So I have no choice but to take. Okay. You know what? Pawn is a pawn. e6, nice double attack. f4. Rook e8, he gets the pawn back. Nice. Rook d4, at least I will try to spoil his pawn structure. He can play rook c4. He refuses. Okay, this is... So he has this move. He'll try to attack on d5, but can't attack yet. Okay, it's legit choice. He'll chase compensation for the pawn, but I don't like it. I think rook c3 was just fine for him. So he has back rank issues. He can use this in these endings. His king is slightly weak. I have occupied the d file, but I don't control it yet. So my next task will be to consolidate the extra pawn with rook e3 and consolidate my control of the d file because this queen is not well placed. Doesn't do anything. Doesn't attack yet. She needs reinforcements. This rook is badly placed, so anytime he attacks my queen, I have queen e4. Attacking this, pardon, this move, queen e4, I'm attacking this rook, which is good for me. It prevents him from moving this rook. Queen e5, queen h5. What do you try to do? Nothing yet. He might go for the queen b5. Okay, if I play c4, I will control nearly entire fifth rank. But I will not do that. I will play queen e4 as intended. Because this square is good for his queen, but still. Okay, so he wants to try maybe fire. I'll just pass. Or maybe I can even take. No, I'll just pass. Play simply. So, okay. F6, it's time to drop to the 7th rank. Now I have some attacking chances against his king. Maybe queen b7 afterwards. So, and double. Now, this is so simple. With the weak king, okay. This is his threat. If I take on e7, he'll take on c3 and I double. Doesn't have anything yet. I don't see any threat on his side. My queen is well posted. Oh my god, I blundered the rook. Blundered the rook. But what were you watching? Okay, on queen d1, maybe I have queen g6 to defend myself, to save myself. Maybe. Lack of concentration. So let's see one more time. Takes the rook, queen g6, threatening checkmate. He needs to defend somehow. Has queen d5, and h7, and he still doesn't manage to defend the checkmate. I was lucky. I think I'm lucky this game. That rook a7 works. I completely blundered the rook. Okay. It's time to attack because e takes e4 doesn't threaten anything because on rook e7 f5. But mister, I do have rook g7. Why would you allow it? Is there a check for him? No. This is so simple. Queen d5 threatens checkmate here, and that should be game over. Let's just double check. We have enough time to this time make sure we don't blunder. Queen d5. He needs to give up the queen. There is no way he can defend this. Maybe I have rook g8 the more. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. This is good. We'll just take a look. Actually, no. That rook was actually defended. Okay, I had luck. The good player is always lucky, as Capablanca said once. Okay, I was lucky this game, so let's hope that I'm a good player. There's no way for him to defend the g8 square. And my queen is heading that way. I can drop the rook. Or he can play the queen f7. When he takes, this rook will take with checkmate. Too many threats. Too many threats to parry. And he has only one queen. This pawn did a monumental defensive task. Let's go again. Okay, let's try French chess again. Knight d2. This is Tarrasch variation. Okay, knight f6. We'll play the Steinitz. They usually pass. Okay, so we don't want to pass. Why should I pass either? Okay, bishop e7. We can take and transpose it to Rubinstein, but it's slightly passing. Black, and I don't like. Okay, castles. How do we play this? We could. We just must maintain pressure. Okay, we need to transpose it to Rubinstein. I don't want to maintain tension. Knight b7, and we'll play b6, bishop b7 next. Black is slightly cramped, but his pieces stand well, but passive. Passivist. Okay, now he'll take queen d3, trying to check it. Not yet. Okay. Now what will alleviate the pressure? There's too many pieces, we are cramped, we welcome any exchange we can get. Side with the space advantage sits the opposite, sits to keep the pieces on the board because it has more space, so it can more efficiently regroup pieces. Okay, alright. Now, how do I put pressure on this pawn? Because notice this pin. This queen is x-rayed by my queen and is free, so he won't be able to take on c5. He's also behind in development. What can I do to make this work? b5. Positional sacrifice. Now you have use b5, takes, queen d5, e4, a6, takes. Okay, you live only once, YOLO. I'm gonna go for b5, positional sacrifice. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And maybe it doesn't. Maybe it doesn't, he has rook e5, something I have missed. Just play. No, a5, mouse. Not a5, man. a6. Yeah, now this is horrible. Now this is horrible. I'm simply losing. Okay. Knight d5. No point in crying. Wanted to play a6. Okay. Quickly. Oh, knight c6. My friend, I'm not gonna allow it that easily. Knight c6. Queen d6. It will be 3 with bishop a3 idea in mind. That's what I would do. It's just reading that mouse with a5 simply ruined the whole game. Pawn down, this one is weak. d3, okay. Let's use this opportunity to exchange knights. And we will try to seek some counterplay against these weak pawns with the queen. Okay. Here I will take it. And now you need to make a move. Bishop d4, and we returned pawn. Chess, chess, okay. What happens on e5? Nothing. I'll have to cement this bishop. He is now really strong. I'm even willing to weaken my light squares a little. With f6, just to stabilize it. f6. Now this bishop is dead. It is restricted. White will need a lot of time to move this f pawn so the bishop can enter into play. And I have semi-open d file where I will put pressure on this weak. Okay. This rook doesn't do much. He doesn't have any rook d4 tactics. So let us play rook fb8. Now this one is slightly under attack. He'll just move the queen out of this pin because he might have some rook d4 ideas. And he does try that. First rook b4. Rook b4, b3, rook a6. We want to play queen c6 because this one is weak. Stretching his forces as much as we can. Because these two are weak. Too many weaknesses. Now my king is weak. I admit that. But you need maybe you can play queen g4 to exploit it with queen c8. Because I would have tactic bishop f2 against the queen. Okay, let's see. If I take on c6, rook d4, rook d4, rook d4, I have intermediate check. Okay, okay. I have intermediate check on c1. So this rook d4 tactic doesn't work. He might fall for this because of the pin. He didn't fall for it. Okay, rook d3. But he does have queen a8, which is good for him. So how do I play? How do I play here? My king is slightly exposed. I cannot. Okay, rook d4, rook d4, rook d4, queen d4. So this is the only piece hanging. Okay, so just remove it, and he has no tactics yet. b7 is controlled by this rook, and a8 by that rook. c6 by the queen, d5 by the queen as well. So he cannot penetrate yet. Our next move is our next move is c5, cementing the bishop on d4. Now there will be no more tactics with the uh, X-ray attack on the queen. And now we play queen c6, contesting the light squares. Once the queen plugs this diagonal, he will have no more counterplay. So our next will be rook b6, and we'll finally put queen b7, completely tying white to the defense of this weak pawn. We even some c4 sacrifices. Okay, rook. Okay, what does he try? He still wants to enter via light squares, but everything is held by the queen. f4, time for d4. We're not going to allow him to open up the position. is not favorable for us. And this bishop is now blocked by the f pawn. So we will play g6 with tempo and f5, fixing this f pawn on the dark square and making some room for the king. His queen will be evicted, and since the position is fairly close, it will take some time for him to create an attack. And since all our pieces are on our side of the board, we shouldn't have enough problems defending. f5, and now his queen needs to retreat. Queen f6. I will not miss an opportunity to exchange queens. Maybe he can play queen h6, but she stands so badly there. It's really, I can actually just ignore it. Yeah, okay. Rook d4. And on queen g5, he has intermediate move, check, okay. But I will sack the queen, and let me see. King g7, rook d7, king h6, bishop g5, rook d7, check, and I should be able to escape. But then again, who cares about one pawn? Let's eliminate all counterplay for black. Alright. Rook d7. Okay, we have protected the 7th rank. This one falls, and simply push our passes. Yeah, just push them. And we have active king that will go through the center of the board, but his king is out of play, and in the endgame, king is very strong. He's almost as strong as rook is. Okay, we have every right to attack that pawn. Nice. Six. We got some chances because of my imprecise play, but I should still be winning. Okay, as bishop c5, taking the pawn, I'm giving him too much counterplay. Not good. And now he wants to take. I will give him the rook because it's a one pawn. It's a one rook endgame. I just win easily. He needs to protect the square. He cannot count with the king because on g1 because I have rook b1 with check and promoting. We do have on king g3 again. Yeah, it's that one. Let's keep it simple. Let's keep it simple. So okay, let's see. G3. Okay. He tries for E5, will stop the E5 push immediately. Not oh, what is going on knight E5? Takes, takes, knight E4, and he castles, right? That's his plan. Hmm. I have no plan yet. So I'll just maintain the position. Okay, you have mhm. Okay, then how do you proceed? Okay, 95. What did he do? Okay, can I play EF6? He took a piece, I take a piece. He moves the bishop on H3, and that's or then queen on H3. It's too dangerous. Okay, he will not allow this. It's too dangerous. Now he needs to make a move with the knight. Knight H5. I'll probably play probably E3, or we have E3. Let's go. K and GF. Knight C3. It's slightly better. This position I have misplayed, but I don't think it's that bad. Okay, let's bring everything to the king side to defend a slightly exposed king. Queen D3. But actually, I'm not threatening anyone. Rook D1 was okay. Now let's see. There are no threats yet. But let's C4. Can he play D4? Maybe he can. Maybe he can. Knight D4. And then he as well. F, GF. You have center of the board like that. At all. I'll play C4 to soften him up. Then we can have F5 sacrifice. Uh-huh. Take. And should take or should we? Let me simply play F5 immediately. Takes with the pawn. I do not take with the pawn. Or I can just keep my mouth shut. No, I'll take it. I'll take it. He needs to show me his hand. Aha. Nice. And now he has queen e4. All right. Well played, sir. Well played. G5, knight G5, he has H6, and there is nothing I can do. I lose a piece anyway. H4, but I think I have compensation in this. This rook is badly placed. If I keep the e6 pawn, I keep e6 pawn there, shouldn't be able to liberate the rook. So let's see how we can do it. Play e5, king d3. I need to exchange queens. I know I'm lost anyway, but he might provide me counterplay. Okay, let's check. That's 2 pawns for the piece. That's 2 pawns for the piece. Okay. Still dead loss. I'll try my luck in the end. Try my luck in the end game because I do have an active king and his king is slightly weak. But this bishop is a monster. Three pawns. That was okay. What happens if I play g6? Where does your king go again? Well, I did manage to muddy the water just a little. Okay, king f5. This is not. It's not a checkmate. Okay, before we move our passed pawns. It's not so clear for him. I think he's still in it, but white does have some counterplay. Or is he? It's not so clear. Rook d8, a5, bishop d4. Okay, this is a good move. Pending everything. Okay, a5. Now he can play King e8, rook d7, defending the 7th rank. Very nice idea, but by the time he gets there, okay, if I get this pawn and this bishop for the rook, I can win the game. You don't want to. Aha, f5. I'm sorry, my friend, I cannot give you that pawn. He is vital to my attack. Your king. You cannot get him. Okay, time to calculate. b6 takes, pass. a5, pass. Yeah, takes 1-7, takes 1-7, is rook b6. f6, rook f6 brings nothing to the table. So let's see what else we can do. Not much. 5, 7, and a7. Aha. Then f6. b6 must give something. Otherwise, I'm stopping my counter plan here with extra piece simply wins. Now I think there is something. Well, we can even see after the game. I'm really interested to see this pawn thrust wins. Because now he needs to play b5. He must. And on b5 I have a6, rook a7, f6. Deflecting, actually no. Then I have rook b8 and winning. So he needs to give up the bishop, but he has b5 pawn. But b7 hangs and I get the pawn back. It's not so easy. It's not so easy for him. b5, a7. Okay. Next is rook takes g7, and white doesn't care about this pawn because I will sacrifice. Okay, check. Intermediate check. If he goes on g8, we play rook b7, threatening checkmate and attacking the pawn. And now white actually wins. Okay, we have. What does? Okay, this might even be. Okay, how do I win this? I know how. We march with the king. Uh-huh. So you don't allow me to get there. Well, mister, you need to make a move. That's the difference. And actually, I know what. f6, f6. Takes king h6. Rook has to go somewhere. Check g7. And no, my friend. I decline. But he does have On f6, well, we have rook e5, but he cannot take because of checkmate. So now, yes, my friend, I know. Oh, it's not a checkmate. Okay. Now he can play f5. Okay, it's a draw. No draw. Okay, let's see how you win this. Want to flag me? Okay, let's flag. Let's play the flag fest. Now I will never blunder a rook. And I'm just chasing his rook. Okay, fine. You want to flag me? Let's play. Okay. Go. Okay, where are your checks now? Go. Go ahead. Check. This type of behavior, horrible. You were held for 50 move rule. Yeah. You see? I hate that. He had every right to try to fight for a win. Take a look after it. An extra pawn. I had to try and fight for a win, but you had nothing. You're losing. You play that dirty flagging game. Hate people like that. Admit that you had nothing. And move on to our next game. Okay, we'll just exchange and play knight c3. Bishop f4 next, and we'll play e4 to open up the game. We don't have time to lose because it is just one move to couple action. e4, take. What happens? Okay, I still have time because queen is poorly placed, and now we can really go for the queen b4. Okay, it stays. I take with the check. So I will return the pawn, and this pawn is irrelevant now because it's all about white's initiative. Okay, what about e5? Again, if he takes the knight, I take the knight with the check. Let's see. What else do we have? Knight h5. Well, that, my friend, is a blunder. But he gets this back. Okay. So now the question is, how do I maintain the initiative? And e6 is good because he cannot take with the bishop. Queen pins the the king, I'll just collect an extra bishop with rook e6. Okay, now let us see what else can we do. There is bishop d5, and it takes, I get the queen. I think this is enough. Bishop d5, these squares are all taken away from the king, so he has this and this square. Okay, queen d5 again. Taken away by the bishop, taken away by the queen. And now we just double attack them. Okay. And okay, his king stands poorly, and now we just drop the rook, and his entire back rank is picked. These two rooks will be dead. Job is yeah. Okay, I'd like to analyze us again. I'm really interested in analysis. Which is your one thing. I have reached the limit as you. I don't read your test count. Okay. Okay. Bishop f4. What was the okay? 95 was better. I didn't see. Okay. How to continue? 95. Take the pawn. Yeah, but knight g4 and it's computer suggests. Yeah, computer is greedy. But this is something that scares me because he might have some knight d4 sacrifices later, or playing h4, h5. It's really not pleasant for a human being to play, but computer is not scared. Take knight d5, take. Wait, this is not the game, is it? Yeah, that's the game. Pardon. Okay. What do you suggest? Bishop e3. Okay, that's good too. Yeah, I was taking that into account. This square. E6. Just here, king h1. Knight c3 to finish development. e3, castles, bolstering our defense. f6. Bishop b6, you gave me a chance. Rook d1. What do you suggest here? Still wants rook g1. Rook g1 makes sense. Since I cannot make any breakthrough in the center of the board or on the queen side, it's logical to try to play on the king side. Then open plan. Both of us misunderstood the position. He had queen e8, queen g6 because these squares are simply horribly weak. Okay, f7. He found the plan now. Rook g1 the only move. And I played five. It's good enough. He's winning. Okay, so we can skim through these moves because he's completely. He had rook g5. Yeah, he failed to convert. King d5 is endgame, takes take. Bishop c7, yes, I saw it in the video. Rook d7, he still wins. Rook c7. Rook d8. Yeah, a mistake. Rook f7 easily wins. Rook b7, 2, g6. Yes, I'm creating a mating threat because his king is now weak. This is where I was basing my counterplay. You see, it's slightly better for him, but he no longer wins because his king is horribly weak and my king will become a force. So we'll play with king and rook versus bishop and rook. So I have compensation. As long as his king is cut off and this weak g7 pawn stays on the board and my strong g6 pawn, I have some sort of counterplay, I have chance to save the game. Bishop f2, okay, king. I want to activate the king. I have to do this. Before we need to start moving our pawns, we need counterplay. There is nothing I can do on the king side to improve our position anymore, so we need to dislodge this bishop to take this a7 pawn. And our idea is to play with a5, this point, somehow b5 and b6, and even sacrifice uh, to remove this a7 pawn. One more thing that helps defending side. Bishop and rook versus rook is a drawn angle. It is a draw. So if I manage to exchange these two for his g7 bishop, I will be able to draw. So my plan was to either remove all the pawns or maintain these mating threats and use my active king and these extra pawns to get the a7 pawn or at least create a passive, have some counter. g8, rook idea threatening checkmate and something else. That's the motive that I was banking on during this game to save myself. Because his weak is horribly weak. His king is horribly weak here, and if he moves elsewhere, you get the g7 pawn, and now it will be unclear. Maybe I would also have any chances, just like him. And it's easier to play this position as white. Although engine gives 0-0, it's easier to play with the pawns, and I just need to queen. As it's a draw, I will always take white in this position because it's so much easier to play. So let's see what happened in the game. a4, rook d8. I don't, but he needs something. Yeah, a4, bishop d4. He defends both and he controls this diagonal, so he will restrict well. His rook is horrible. His king versus practically a lonely bishop. This is the only good piece on the back side, but since rook is highly mobile piece, he can always join the game. So I guess we play against the bishop and the half rook. Half a rook. Okay, let's see what else happened. b5. Yeah, the strongest. Uh, bishop, rook d6. Yeah, I mean, he cannot lose. I don't have enough pieces to attack. King f5, recommended by the engine. I didn't like it due to rook f6, and he has some ways to harass me, so I wanted to be solid by playing f5. King e8 is a mistake. Okay. What does he propose? Rook d8. Rook d8, I was planning to play b6, a6, a6. Okay, b5 takes. Yeah, so this was a saving grace. This was because now he cannot rook b8. We do have f6 takes and maybe king f5. Yeah, so my active king creates mating threats. So even if he does play this, I think the king f6, rook f7, king g8. I have a perpetual. Yeah, I have a perpetual check. So this is the best I can hope for. In this position, I cannot pursue victory. And if he plays this, I think the simple king f5 falls. Because on this move, uh, he must play king g7. Yeah, on king g7, g7 simply. What else do we have? Yeah, king g7. You just play have a perpetual, so he will have to go here to avoid it, but it gives checkmate. This is g7, g7 the horse, okay, but this gives checkmate. Okay, so he will have to go back and then just have a perpetual. Okay, what else did he play? Where? Okay, king d8. So he made a mistake because this pawn is unprotected now, and this bishop is overloaded. He's overloaded, protecting these two pawns. So I will use f6 sacrifice and b6 sacrifice to uh, break through the blockade. So b6 completed, yeah, the only move that wins. A b6, okay, a6, b5, a7, takes takes, and okay, I will get a victory. How did I blow this? f7, this was the move. This was the move that blew everything away. He's back to defend. Okay, and let me check the table base. In a sec. Okay. Chess. These are the online table bases, and let me just see if I can get fan. No, I cannot get the fan. You have to pay up for everything on chess.com. All right. Okay. King g5, king g8, king g5, king g8. We had f7, f. What was it? 6, f5, g7. I think that was it. Yeah, d8, rook d8, and rook b5. 5 side to move is black. Black to move. It's a draw. Okay, I had nothing this game. I thought I do. Okay, fair enough. So it's a drawn endgame. Let's see uh, how do I win this. Uh-huh. This is the only way to win. On king e7, he probably wants, yeah, rook g7, rook g8. Yeah, okay, because he cannot approach. All of these squares are taken away, and I queen fast. Okay, I didn't calculate that far enough. Okay, nice game. Nice game. Let's play a few more. If you want to play against me or want me to analyze your game, feel free to ask. If you have any question, uh, ask. It's okay. Until you do that, I will play some games to not waste time sitting here doing nothing. Right? Okay. Okay. Normal. Ads. Got it. Need to remove it. Okay. Bishop d6. Castles. Okay, two can play this game. H3. I'm not gonna do it. Rook e8. Bunch of things. Okay, knight bd7. So what will you play? d6. Okay, now he might play g4, but he will do well to play bishop d3 first. Let's say remove the queen from the pin. And we have a simple idea of going knight e4 next. Because maybe we take... What do you get? No, no, I won't. You will take that. You will take this pawn so I can transpose into isolated queen pawn position. Let's exchange some pieces because this I would like to keep my dark square bishop, but white will get too much space. I cannot afford it. So now I might go for 94, 94. Okay, this I can take with d pawn, with the e pawn and with the d pawn, yes, and having a passer on e3, on e4, pardon. So and push e3 to weaken his king, and maybe I'll have some attack. Maybe I won't. Okay, let's play rook e7. I want to double the file. If he does have queen b3, maybe I'll sacrifice that pawn because I cannot have everything in game of chess. e5. Okay, we'll double the rooks. I'm slightly better here. Slightly. Let's see what else we can do. b4. Let me stop it so I can provoke a4. Okay. Now is the time to see. Wait. This. Then knight c6. Okay, I'm not gonna open the A file for his rook because he will have a back rank motives. So I'll leave it as it is. I'm playing 96, threatening to take on d4. And now all of the pieces are in the center on the king side and on the king side, so we shall see if there are some tactical motives I could play for a checkmate. Bishop takes, bishop takes. Knight d4, knight d4, I can deflect. Does have back motives, or does he? One more time. I take on f3, he takes on f3, I take on d4. Takes with the queen, I grab both rooks and checkmate. If he grabs with the knight, I grab everything and my knight protects the e8 square. Okay, it's time to take. I think I have a pawn. And if he takes on e7, I have intermediate check on f3. So I think he blundered a pawn, or he blundered a piece. We shall see soon. But I'm confident that I haven't miscalculated anything. Knight f3, but I have miscalculated because he has queen f3 double attacking the queen and the rook. Okay, well played, sir. Well played. Yeah, that's queen f3. I didn't take it into account. I just saw that I have intermediate move. Okay, you win some, you lose some. No, we don't want to allow him e5 yet. Okay, very well. What to play? c3. It's not the best move, but I don't know theory. I'll just play solid. 94, 91. Let's switch it up a little. Just a little. Okay, knight e3. We are hitting the bishop. And now we can say maybe c4. Maybe not yet. Oops, 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 oops. Watch it, watch it. No, watch it. I would have dropped pawn there. How do I get this to work? I don't. Very well. Knight d2. I will exchange this knight and allow him to play e5. My pieces are badly placed. I misplayed this position because now I cannot play e4. But okay, life goes on. We'll take it. And what happens if I play d5? I'll play it. I'll play it and okay, queen d5. I'm attacking c6 knight. So my queen is now active. Okay, knight d5. This bishop is now open. Let's see. Dark square bishop. But I don't have to actually attack it yet. Can I play here? Bishop e3. We'll just develop. We'll just develop. f5. So he wants to attack. Knight f4 won't bring much. Rook d1, bishop f7. Okay, bishop f4. I need to exchange the dark square bishop. He holds his entire. These two pieces hold. Okay, so you are here, and this knight is much stronger than the bishop. So I'll exchange. Let's see what else I can do. We'll go for the opposite colored bishops because this bishop is very strong. Very strong. Maybe I don't have to actually. Maybe I don't have to. Not yet. Okay. What about knight c6? Not a bad idea. Yeah, I'll keep the knight. Let's try keeping the knight. He still makes problems for black, and after e3 my bishop might have okay, bishop h3. This should prevent bishop f7, and I have knight d4 hitting the f5. So okay, here you are. Before b5 hangs. Okay, this is a tough position to play. Tough position to play. Okay, knight b5. He blundered. He blundered. Okay, so he that move, but I don't have a4. I do have a4 and bishop. Bishop c4. So something will happen here. Okay, rook e d1. This rook is doing nothing. This one protects the a4 pawn. It's not the best role he has, but he's an important one. Okay. Rook d5. Let us attack this bishop. Dislodge it if we can. Okay, bishop 5. Should I play it? Should I play it? No, I will not. Bishop f7. Okay. No, I'll take it. I'll take it. I need something. d4 creaks as well. But he does have bishop f3. He does have bishop f3, and it's a very, very strong bishop. Okay. Get back, exchange as fast as you can. Because if he grabs the d file, he has full compensation, and he might play bishop h5 or bishop g4. No, he didn't. Exchange. This was the only piece that is weak. So we'll have knight e3, knight c4 maneuver, and hitting a5. In the endgame, now our task is to simply exchange rooks as much as we can to hinder his attacking chances, because this pawn is far advanced. Rook d8. One pair of rooks will come off, and now he needs to make a choice. Rook d7 or rook is active, and let's see, h4. Okay, how do you activate our king? In h3, let's force a slight weakening of his position via king h3, king g4, so our king can get out. So, okay, takes, king h3. Now this one is weak. Now we are going to making threats on his king, coupled with the pawn push. g4. Let's fix the weakness for the endgame. He cannot tolerate my rook forever, so he must exchange at some point. He has bishop e5. Knight e4, rook b8, knight f5. How do I manage to exchange them? Bishop e5. Alright. It's time to reposition the king. You see that this pawn is weak, and with rook b8 he will gain counterplay. He cannot reposition the rook on the h file that fast. Actually, he does have rook f6. He does have rook f6, but I do have rook d5. I do have rook d5, And now what do you play? Okay, is the rook endgame one for us? Should be. Rook d4, knight d4. On bishop d4 we have intermediate check, picking up the g-pawn. Or we can pick up the f3 pawn. Now he has no attack anymore on rook. Okay, he still needs. Wow, he really blunders everything. Knight g5, we have a lot. F4. There is too much for him to. For king f2, he blundered way too much. Okay, rook e5. No, my friend, you're not gonna penetrate into the position. But he does have rook d3. Yeah, he does have some counterplay. Okay, knight f6. Knight d5, I'm hitting the bishop. I guess he'll have to have some counterplay. He cannot win this cleanly. Alright. Okay. King d2, protecting d2 pawn. He has nowhere to go. Now I might even trap his rook. I'm actually having a good constellation of pieces because they protect each other well. I take on e7. This rook engine should be won. I mean, come on, I'm 4 pawns out. Why should I be afraid? Okay, rook c7 and his c4 pawn should drop. Rook c4, everything is protected. b4. No, do not have. Okay. In rook endgames, remember this golden rule to put your rook behind the pawn because, okay, they just drop. Every time a pawn moves, you see how his rook's scope is restricted. Now rook has less and less squares to attack. a6, and he is done for. Take. Yeah. Again, in pawn endgames, when you a small trick, in order not to calculate forever, just draw a diagonal down the base rank, and then draw the square like this. Or you don't have to, just make it like this. And if king enters this this space, so if it is black to move and he enters into this square, into this triangle, let's make like this, into this triangle, then he catches the pawn. If he's out of the triangle, then he does not catch the pawn. And here, I don't even have to calculate this pawn with queen, and I will simply check it. Give me a second. I want to remove these ads. Really annoying. Inspect to maximize. Okay, what is this opening? No, no. Let's try to delete this. No, he needs more. Where is it? Inspect. Delete. No, dark mode. No. Board. No, this is sidebar. Ads. Okay. No more boring ads. That's more like it. Let us try. Let's play a couple more. I mean, nobody is typing anything in the chat, so let me at least spare some time playing. He doesn't want to play. He's okay. You don't want to play. You don't want to play. Before, let's try Scandinavian this time. No, trash opening according to Nakamura. I agree, but I love it because of its simplicity and directness. It cuts down White's responses. So, okay, v3. He doesn't want to give me a target to attack, but now I have knight h6, heading to f5, and then to d4. Okay, what do you offer now? Bishop g4. Let's try to elicit to force some exchanges. This bishop is the weakest piece in this pawn structure, so I will exchange it for any piece I can get a chance for. Okay, queen b6. And he might play h3, but it will weaken his dark squares a little. My god, I blundered. God damn it. Okay, not good. This was not good, my friends. This was not good. Okay, let's break this pawn structure as much as we can so he doesn't get all the compensation, all the benefits for free. Rook d8. Okay, I blundered. You just need to suffer. h3, bishop f5. This one is under attack. What else will he play? This is what you play. Well, I don't like it that much, my friend. Okay, we need to open up the game because we have better development. This king, look how they're all blocked. So we need to open up the game. We need to make some play, especially being a pawn down. This is not gonna go down well for us if we stay passive. So e5 is next move. This is next move. Trying to make use of this pin. So I might play bishop d3 and d4, forking both pieces. Bishop g6 with the idea of knight f5. And then we also have bishop h6 and castles. No matter how ugly it looks like, we need to finish development to get compensation for the missing pawn. He still says from the starting sequence. So he needs to make some bishop h6, but then he'll start exchanging. He's facing bishop c5. I need to play this move. I need to open up this bishop. There is no time to count pawns in this position. I hate these positions. I hate sacrificing material, but there is no way for me to save the day otherwise. Before, I'll take it. He might have before strike here, but I can take c3 and he takes, but then he develops. Okay, but his king into the 3 to the head, 1, 2, 3. Bishop, very nice. So what do you intend to do? c5, right? And then you take 1, 2, 3 times attacks, 1, 2, 3 times I defend. So on bishop b6, c5, bishop c7, takes the pawn. Okay, but then he gains tempo. I'm not gonna give him tempo. Bishop e7. I'm not gonna give him tempo. Takes. Now let me see. No, I'll take it. Bishop c5. Activate the bishop. This knight is not going anywhere. Bishop d4. Can he defend now? Castles. Okay, if I castle, he needs to play king e3 to defend, rook f e8, and how do you defend this bishop? You don't. You don't. Okay, he has no development at the moment, but this rook does make threats. So all I have for the pawn, or even two pawns, will be initiative. That's why I'm trying to finish development to attack as much as I can, because otherwise there is nothing left for me to do. He'll simply consolidate his extra pawn and win. Also, his extra pawn is here, so it might end up in a draw if we remove all the queenside pawns. If we somehow exchange these, I should have fairly good drawing chances. Also, notice that he has a bad his bishop, a wrong colored bishop. So if we leave these two in the endgame, then you stand well. Now if he takes on a7, I drop the rook down and get the piece for the pawns. And I'll try to okay, rook d2, double attack, bishop f3, rook b7. We have restored the material bound. No, we haven't. Now we let me take, because this bishop is too strong. I'm offering an exchange. And after this move, okay, activity in the rook endgame is worth more than material. So now he needs to make a choice to defend or to attack with, say, rook c8. Okay, we might get the pawn back. On rook a5, we play b5, and we move our passed pawns. Again, material doesn't make much quality of your passed pawns in the rook. They must be active, meaning the rook must attack all the time and keep opposing pieces in check, especially pawns, and your passed pawns, they must be pushed. You must push them as far as possible in order to win the game or to hold the game. There is an old saying that all rook endgames are drawn, and that's precisely because of this maxim. You need to be active. Okay, he cannot move the king and the pawn yet because it is pinned. Pardon, because it is pinned, but his king is safer than mine. So he does have counterplay of harassing my king. And after he plays a move, I will simply but he can play this, and he threatens checkmate. He threatens checkmate, so I need to get out of this file. No, I won't. Rook b7. We're going to protect the back rank and apply another rule that I have mentioned in the previous game. We'll put this rook behind the pawn, and this rook will need to be repositioned to clear the way for the b pawn to advance. This should tie at least one of his rooks, while we generate counterplay with the king and this rook for ourselves. Maybe king will march towards the b pawn, while this rook cuts off his king. But with two rooks on the board, it's highly unlikely. We need to exchange this. He is hindering my passed pawn. Okay, but I'm gonna still push the pawn, because now if he plays rook a5, rook a4, there is little I can do to protect the b pawn, so I'll probably play this move. Okay, nice move. Nice move. Rook d2, what do you play? I mean, okay, there is no time to protect the pawns. We are going all in on the white king, including our king. Everything we have will throw in into a mating attack. So he needs to play rook g5, but now I don't care. Whatever he plays, okay, let's draw the game. I'll offer the draw. There is nothing for us to hope for, but wait a second. Wait a second, he's low on time, and I see. No, I'm not gonna be a dirty player. I'm gonna offer him a draw. I'm gonna offer him a draw. He played well, and he deserved to at least draw. Well played, sir. Good game. Let's head towards the archive and take a look at some of the games. Let's take a look at this game because I think it was very well played by both sides. Okay, knight c6. Okay, bishop g4. What do you suggest? Bishop f5. Okay, king b3, e6. e6. So I just give him the pawn. Okay, I played king b6, and now he has an extra pawn. e6, king b3. Yeah, castling was also good because I have good development for the pawn. This is nice. Okay, here I wrote a lot. Rook d8. Yeah, bad move. Okay, bishop f5, d4 could be played. Bishop. Okay, I will still get the pawn back, even though computer claims he would have an edge with by giving back the pawn. In human play, I don't think it's power level. I don't think it will help him much. King d2, bishop. Okay, I played f6, but the point was to play bishop g6 with knight f5 most likely. Okay, f6, he wins. He wins the game with this. Okay. My implementation of generating counterplay was not good. Knight f3, okay. What else did you play? e5. So, what do you suggest? King c2, yeah. He needed to make luft for his bishop. He needed to develop as soon as possible. Yeah, he neglected that principle. So he lost a bit of advantage. King e3 again, I don't like. Maybe king c2. He needs to make space for this bishop and this knight. He needs to bring them into the game. Okay, king e3, c4 immediately. Or c4. I didn't want to sacrifice bishop g6. Okay, king f2. With king f2, he consolidates. This is not good. Knight f5. Again, he is better to play knight f7 and play bishop h6. Oh, knight f5. Now he changes the mind. Good. Okay, we play for the initiative. c4. Bishop h6. But he plays knight c4. Okay, so he wanted to exchange dark square bishops. I didn't like it. c4, he wins. Simply wins with g4. I see now. Okay, okay, but he didn't see that. Bishop c5, d4 takes. Knight b3, the strongest. Nice. Bishop b7, nice. The strongest. I played the strongest. h4, okay, cd4. Knight cd4. Okay, I played knight f4. Okay, bd4. Knight d4. Okay, knight d4. He wanted to play take with the rook immediately. Yeah, because I have castling anyway. Yeah, very logical. And I would have bishop h4 as an alternative to bishop c5. Yeah, this is actually imprecise. Bishop e3, nicely played. Takes. Castles also imprecise. G3, rook d4, bishop e2, nicely played. Rook d2, he is a pawn up. I have no compensation. Rook b2, bishop d5. He should have taken the pawn on a7. Bishop f7, rook a7, take, and now a small advantage for white, but black equalized. This is not good. Okay, rook d2, yeah, the strongest. Rook a5, e5, yeah, not good. I should have activated the king in the endgame. King g2, rook d5, okay, rook c1, rook d7, yeah, now it is a draw. Okay, he misplayed, so the quality of the play was not good. Okay, let me see some other game. What happened with this one? Let me mark this one as processed. That's the okay. Okay, he's slightly better. Yeah, horrible opening play. Just complete lack of understanding. Okay, I played the good move. If d5, okay, it's logical. White needed to open up the position to develop his dark square bishop. Let's see. Bishop d6, bishop f4. Yeah, I should have exchanged immediately. There was no point hesitating. f5. Yeah, I admitted my mistake. 95. Okay. Okay. Nothing. Knight c6 is slightly better due to bishop pair. Okay. e3 still better. Did he blunder now? No. Bishop h3. You play bishop f1. Okay. Knight d4. I don't like rook rook a6. Rook is passive there. He has no prospects of attacking anything, and white does not fight for the d-file because he will need rook a to d8. I apologize, and I prefer that he played it immediately. Rook simply has no prospects here. He attacks nothing, nor does put pressure on white's position. c5 is a blunder. Okay, blunder, bishop e5, solidifying the knight. And now the only counterplay he has is my weak king because my light squares creak, but I still have a light square bishop. So I'm better. c4. Double-edged move. He does clamp down on these two. So this one pawn does control these two due to en passant capture in case I go before. But he also needs to protect it because I have bishop f1 at some point. taking the d file. This is crucial, and now we see that rook is missing because this square is controlled by the knight. And he cannot contest the d files. Had he been on d8, he could have played rook a d8, for example, and possibly land on the d3 with some compensation for the pawn. At least he'll try to fight for compensation. He'll have bishop pair and control of the d file, so there will be some counter. Bishop h5, nice move. Nice move indirectly fighting for the d file. Rook d5, defending with tempo. Bishop f6, and now he drops the pawn. Again, simple. Yeah, just eliminate all counterplay with bishop g2. This is a good moment to pause and state the following advice. When you're up in material, when you have static advantage, meaning something that lasts forever, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pawns for black, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I have solid extra 2 pawns. You do not want to hurry. You are the one with static advantage. It lasts forever. It is the opponent who needs to generate counterplay, dynamic play. So what you want to do is stop seeking the best moves, stop seeking active play or whatever. Your job is to kill all counterplay, to calm down the game. So your static advantage can come forth. You don't want to attack, you don't want to engage into wild attacks, tactical exchanges. No, you just want to exchange pieces that are active, opposing active pieces. You want to head towards the end game, and that's it. Even if it looks equal, your static advantage will over time come forth and decide the game. So in this situation, I didn't want to play for the mating attack. Although his king is weak or pressurize the weakness, he has plenty of them. No, we just want to eliminate his counterplay, and his counterplay is my bad king, especially with this very strong bishop on f3. So that's why I played bishop h3, and I'll play bishop g2. He cannot remove the bishop because then this e4 pawn falls and his counterplay gets lost immediately because my king won't be weak anymore. g6, bishop g2, he played bishop g7. Okay, now it's a matter of technique. Again, his only counterplay is my weak king because I have weak back rank. It's just very weak because if he lands a rook on any of these squares, my king will have nowhere to go and I'll be checkmate. So after rook a8, I take the only open file, preventing his counterplay of taking any open files. This knight won't move in order to keep the semi-open b file closed. So he cannot have any chances of penetrating. These pawns also will not move because they hinder the bishop. And now we just need to exchange rooks. Again, we identified that the only counterplay for black is to land a checkmate on the base back rank, on white's back rank. So we exchange those pieces. Since this rook is again badly posed, simply dropping the rook to d8 will exchange one pair of rooks, greatly diminishing black's attacking chances. Rook on the 7th rank, now we have attacking chances ourselves. King g8, h4, just making loft. Bad move, g5, he had to try to play h5 to keep white king caged. But I would simply reroute my king to the queen side here. And now with my king on c2, all of these pawns would be defended and black would not be able to attack this weakness because b4 square is under control by this pawn. So his rook won't be able to attack, and his only chance would be to sacrifice something on e3 or g3 in order to, once I take, he can, in order to push, to clean the pawn. So anytime I exchange a piece, would simply eliminate this counterplay. g5, and now my king has entry square into his camp. Maybe king g4 works. Yeah, but anything works now. Okay, he still wants to play on the h file, trying to generate some counterplay, but after rook d5, he cannot move the bishop because he moves the bishop, rook g5 takes the pawn, and rook will be able to plug the h file with rook h5. So he defends, knight d4, double attack on the rook and the pawn. He needed to take, and after that I would take with the d pawn, closing the d file on it shows. So now I can have complete control of the board because he has nothing anymore. He doesn't have enough to attack, and if he tries some desperate counterattack, I just take the pawn, and he just cannot make any progress because I will have this and that, and his f3 pawn falls. He just has zero counterplay in this position. Rook e7. He gave up the f3 pawn in order to keep the pieces on the board and hope for some miraculous salvation, but there is nothing left for him. I will not give him an opportunity to save himself. Knight g5. Okay, knight. Yeah, just protect. This was tricky, but okay. Knight f6, and again king e2. No d2 raise, and he simply has nothing to hope for. Again, nice technical trick to liquidate into one rook endgame. Simply, again, c4 he cannot defend. That's another extra pawn, and after this they just keep rolling. Rook behind the pawn, and this is what I'm talking about. Rook has two squares now, and once he moves, he has one square to go through. That's why you put rook behind the pawn. Look at my rook. He had 3 squares to operate on this file. Now he has 4 squares to operate. That's why you keep rook behind the pawn, because with each move of the pawn, your the mobility of the rook increases. While if rook is behind the pawn, then in front of the pawn, pardon, if rook is in front of the pawn, like black's rook, then with each move with the pawn, rook's scope decreases. Nothing left to. And now we know that we have this triangle rule. We talked about it. We construct a triangle like this, and if white enters the triangle, if black enters the triangle, he will catch the pawn. If he's out of the triangle, then he cannot catch the pawn. It is obvious that white is 2 moves late, and white wins easily. You see the other game. Okay, this was game won by a blunder. Let me mark it as analyzed. Okay. We play the opening. Okay, nothing special. Rook e8, slightly better. Nothing special. Okay, 6, c2, c4, bishop f4. Okay, slightly more pleasant for me. Rook e8, rook e7. Alright, c5, doubling. And now I don't know if I had anything. g3, almost close to winning. Black is better. g3, queen f5. Okay, black had some pressure. h6, h4, knight f8. Yeah, we want to reroute the knight because he's the worst piece in our position. Another advice from grandmasters: when you don't see a move, when you don't have a plan, uh, just improve your worst piece. This knight is not good, but it is not bad either because it can hop to e4. Bishop is good, queen is good, rooks are great. The only piece that doesn't participate in putting pressure on a white position is this knight. Uh, this knight. So we need to reroute him somewhere more useful. So we will play knight f8. Knight g6 would be perfect, but black would have g4 trapping the bishop. And this leads to complications that I didn't want to calculate. Knight f8, b5. We don't want to play takes because now if we play say knight, let me play some stupid move like whatever. Takes. This is something. Takes. No, this doesn't work. Okay, let's make a stupid move just for the noise's sake. I know, just for the noise's sake. Takes. He would have back rank trick. This is a trick I was afraid of, so I didn't want to take on b5. I'll leave it to him to moving the rook, threaten the same. So computer suggests knight e4, completely winning. Okay, or knight g6. Okay, knight e6 loses the advantage. Okay, this is the moment where I have failed. Okay, knight e4, I can still win. But bishop knight e4 just as piece. I missed the quick double. Next one, let's see. Okay, this one should be fast. Okay, am I placed better for harassment? And d4 is in White's program at some point. Then he could play e5. Early to d7, maybe he can play c5 and knight c6 at some point. Play this move. Play e5. Okay, he's opening the game because he have to use his queen into the center. After the exchange, give me time to harass her with my minor pick time. My knight c3. So right now the pawn structure doesn't play much overall. White has 1, 2, 3 pieces developed, while black has the queen. So we will gain advantage by simply developing our pieces and by attacking the black queen. He will have to play twice, which will waste time. Time that he should really use to develop his pieces. He needs to develop these and cover. So this central dominance with so much pieces developed, white can even sacrifice at some point. Knight f6, okay, good move. Bishop f4, exactly about I'm developing by harassing, thus forcing him time on defending her instead of pieces and putting second. My king, very bad move, blocking the bishop one more time. I would play queen h5, and computer suggests it as well because it will leave this bishop unblocked, and he might have knight g4 ideas attacking the king because or bishop g4. He will have some hope of developing and having some play. 97 at this point when you have development advantage, you don't wait. This is the moment to act, and we should not restrain ourselves to playing simple moves. We can even sacrifice if position requires it. But now I think that e4, yeah, computer suggests e4 as well, simply opens up the game more favorably. Okay, rook e1, not a bad move. I wanted to prepare it because I didn't want to give him rook for the queen. Take, take. This is what I have in mind. White is a piece up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. And with this, although I have the queen for 2 pieces and an attack, I still wanted to get more out of the position by preparing the e4 because he needs 1, 2 moves to castle. Again, 1, 2 moves to castle. I'm faster than him. Queen b4. Again, horrible move. You never play an active move in a very passive position. This pawn doesn't play any role in White's game, and attacking with the queen is not a priority here. Black's priority is to defend from the opening of the game because White is attacking. White finished development. There is no more waiting. He acts decisively. So Black could have played maybe bishop e6. I don't know. Bishop e6. Yeah, there is little difference. Bishop g4. Yeah, this is even more precise to stop e4 by pinning the pawn to the queen. Yeah, so Black needs to do something to save himself. He just went berserk mode. And White simply played e4. Yeah, decisive advantage. Simply opening up the game, because if he does take the pawn, I will simply capture here with the check. I restore the material balance, but I start the attack. And I might even then capture on c6. Let's play out this line. I mean, if you play this, I have d6. So then he has to keep the position closed and tries to gain time by counter-attacking on my knight. This is logical. It's not a bad move, but it's just too late. He doesn't have enough pieces, and because if I attack the knight, fair, simply attack. He interpose the bishop because I'll take with the pawn. So he must play this move, and now even second is coming to back. H5 threatening here. So Black d6, f7, grabbing the rook. Horrible. Send two behind in development. Knight h5 again makes sense because now I don't have check, but when I take this with the queen, he can capture with the pawn and position stays close. Again, logical move, good move, well played by my opponent, but he realized very late that he sees this is a legal move because king is pinned. So after e6, he tried g6, but I simply take, and off the rook. takes. So he says checkmate. No, okay. Checkmate. King f6. Again, we can play this. And if he goes here, it's checkmate. Or if he plays g5, I think that yeah, this is checkmate. So he needs to take. He did play king g7, and I just double attack the queen and the king, and he cannot win because I have more active pieces. He has no developed pieces at all. His king is under attack. I will simply gain time to put the rook at base rank, and this rook paralyzes entire black army. Okay. I'm tired for today. We'll analyze the rest of the games some other time. And I really need to grab something to eat. So this is it for today. Nobody wrote anything in chat. I see no followers, no nothing. So I hope I haven't missed anything from you guys and girls. Thank you for watching. See you tonight at 10 p.m. You can see the schedule on my main channel page. I will probably play, but maybe I will work on my opening repertoire because I really need it brushed up, polished up in order to successfully fight higher rated opponents. Stay tuned. Again, thank you for watching and goodbye.